Hey everyone, how is it going? In this quick video I will show you how to include the Playwright Schema Validator combined with Zod into your API automation framework created with Playwright. So, in order to get it started, I created a plain Playwright project from scratch. I use TypeScript, and in this plain project I created a demo example. This is a get basic endpoint that uses JSON placeholder to retrieve one single comment identified by the ID 1. We have a basic assertion that the response status code is 200, and then in the final step we transform the response into a JSON object. Now let's bring the Playwright Schema Validator into our project. So the first step is installing the package. We can achieve that by running npm install Playwright Schema Validator -d in order to use it as a dev dependency. The package has been installed, and the next step is going into our test, and there are a few steps that we need to perform. The first of them is importing validate schema Zod from Playwright Schema Validator. I mentioned earlier about Zod, so we will need to import it into our test file as well. Import Z from Zod. Finally, in the next steps we are going to use the page provided by Playwright, so in the import that is present on the first line we are going to add page as well. That's it. Our setup is done. The Playwright Schema Validator provides a method called validate schema Zod that receives 3 arguments. The first one is the page itself, then the response data that we get from the server in the API get response, and the third argument will be the Zod schema for our schema validation. In order to achieve that, let's see how the API response looks like. This is the exact endpoint that we're using in our test, and the response looks like this. It currently has a JSON format, so the next step in our case will be to transform it into a Zod schema. We can simply achieve this by using the transform.tools JSON to Zod and paste our response here. It will automatically be transformed into Zod schema. I'm going to simply copy the resulted schema from here, and let's paste it in our test just above the validate schema method. Great, everything looks good. Here we have a suggestion of importing Z from Zod. Let's copy paste it and replace our third line. Okay, save the file, and that's it. Let's run the Playwright test in the UI to see the status of the execution. npx playwright test --UI. Great, this is the test. let's give it a run and let's see what happens. As you can see, the test result is passed. We have a green check, and in the console we have an information message that says the response body is valid against the schema. Here we have the HTTP request, response, body, and some other informations as well. Let's see how a failed test looks like if we don't manage to match the schema. So on purpose, I'm going to change the type of the name in the expected result from string to number, and save the file, run the test again, and this time it will fail. Great, we have a failed test, and in the console we see an error failed message, response is not valid against the schema mismatches in data, and we can see a warning on the name key, which is pretty much self-explanatory, and we also have one error in the errors tab that says invalid type, expected number. So the error is around the name property, as you can see here, because the name property was the one that we changed from string to number. So it's really nice that the key is mentioned here as well, and in the console as well, with a warning sign. So yeah, expected number, because this is what we set in the expected schema validation, and the test failed because actually as a current response from the server, the test noticed that it was a string, not a number. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. Happy testing!